Hi, I'm Roberta. Welcome to my kitchen. We're not going to cook just yet. I'm here with my friend Lucio Galletto and we're going to have a chat about Ligurian cuisine. Welcome, Lucio.
Thank you.
Santé.
Thank you. Nice to be here. Always a pleasure to, because every time I come here and see you, I learn something. So, you know, that's very good for me.
Well, I have to say that just about everything I know about Ligurian cuisine, I've learned from you.
Oh, really? Thank you. And I've learned from my mother.
Ah, well, our mothers and our nonnas are the best
Nonnas,
teachers,
that's
right?
yes.
So what do we want to tell our cooks about Ligurian food?
Well, Liguria is situated in the north of Italy, northwest really, from the border of Tuscany to the border of Provence,
Yeah.
that's right.
The Italian
And,
Riviera.
The Italian Riviera,
How
yes.
beautiful.
That's right. Really beautiful.
So it is in the north.
It is in the north, but with the cooking of the north, it doesn't get very much connection. Because being by the sea, all by the sea actually, it's like an arch. On one side is all the sea, and one side is a chain of mountains.
Behind
which,
it.
Behind it.
Right.
That we protect from the northern...
So all that cold
Florida.
weather doesn't really come
That's
down.
right, yes. So it's more of a Mediterranean cuisine, because the climate is much milder than other regions
In the north.
in the north.
Okay.
And also it was, how do you say conquered?
Conquered, yes.
It was conquered
By
different
peoples.
people.
Okay, so the
Like
Arabs were there?
The Arabs,
Who
yes.
else?
Greek first,
Yes.
then the Arabs. So they influenced the cooking as well.
And they have
bit.
quite a Mediterranean
Manio,
style of
it is
cooking as
Mediterranean.
well.
Manio, they didn't influence Ligurian like they did the south, you know, Sicily.
Right.
You can tell really that's almost Arabic food. Manio, it's beautiful, you know, I love it.
But so Liguria has that Mediterranean influence, but it's still quite light and fresh. It's not there's not as much tomato. There's not the
No,
chili
that's right,
that you
yeah,
have
yeah.
in the southern Mediterranean.
Exactly, no, we don't actually.
So what sort of ingredients do we expect in Liguria? What are the
But
really typical things?
Testaroli.
Testaroli, made with pesto, right?
Maybe pesto,
So
yes.
beautiful herbs.
No, yes, beautiful herbs, pies, lots of pies, not so much seafood. I mean, they eat seafood.
That's
but
so funny because
yeah,
it's that whole strip of coast.
That's right, it's all on the sea.
Why not
But
seafood?
the problem is that rich people in the old days thought they would make more money in building ships for transport than fishing.
So they were
Fishing
mariners,
vessels.
they were
They were
going
mariners.
out to trade,
That's right.
but they weren't fishing boats.
That's right. So the fishing was left for the poor fishermen from the villages
Right.
with small boats that they couldn't go very far from the shore. So the seafood is mussels, a lot of mussels. There is squids, cuttlefish, and anchovies.
Little fish like anchovies.
And anchovies and sardines forever. Very good. They're very, very good. Where was I? What was the question?
There is no question. We're just talking about Liguria. So we don't have a lot of seafood, but the seafood we do have is close to the coast. We have a lot of fresh herbs.
Fresh herbs,
I
which
imagine-
usually in the old days they used to use only the seasonal herbs and sometimes vegetables, asparagus, that they were wild grown.
So a lot of foraging.
So a lot of foraging.
Chestnuts
Yeah,
in season,
chestnuts,
mushrooms in
that's
season.
Right, that's right. Yeah.
And I imagine once those mariners came back from sea, they didn't really want to think about the ocean. They wanted to eat fresh, didn't they?
That's right. Fresh,
Um,
fresh herbs. But also the sailors, I think they had a very good influence as well in the food of Liguria because they were bringing home ideas from the rest of the world.
Yes, I've heard you talk about this before.
Yeah, and not only ideas, but sometimes herbs from from the east, etc. In fact, I come from a town called La Spezia, which means the spice. It was the biggest distributor of spices in Europe.
Ah, see, we think of Venice on the other side, on the Adriatic, but of course Genoa was a very powerful trading port, wasn't it?
Oh yes, yes.
How exciting. So all that beautiful fresh produce, the infiltration of new ideas coming from abroad,
Yes.
and turning their back on the water. They didn't want to deal with the seafood, eating the beautiful fresh produce, and olive oil. I think beautiful Ligurian olive oil.
Yeah, thank you. I think it's very, very good.
You don't expect to find it that far north, but again, you've got that chain of mountains that's protecting.
The climate is ideal. I mean, the basil is, for example, the basil classico presto alla genovese is originally from Middle East, but it found in the climate and the soil of Liguria perfect habitat.
Oh, it makes
You know?
such a good sauce.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing your cuisine with us.
Oh,
Thank you for sharing my kitchen with me.
thank you for the
Cheers.
wine, mamma mia.
Salute.
Pleasure, Roberta. Grazie.
E buon
Grazie.
appetito.
Everybody, all the very best.